Hey, let's talk a little bit on midlife crisis because today now I'm 30 years of age, and it's been maybe 1 year that I'm more or less understanding what means midlife crisis already. And I think a lot of people can relate to that, even though that might be different for different people. But I think that's at some point in our life, it's inevitable to have those kinds of feelings and conclusions about our life. I mean that you realize that times go by and you are far from experiencing the life you always dreamed of, or at least the kind of life you would have dreamed of. And you realize that, well, you failed in a way. You failed, and I'd say, already from my 20s to my 40s, it's almost already 20 years, and from my 40s to my 60s, it's just another 20 years, and I would say most of my active life would be gone. So I'm already at almost at midlife. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so and you realize, yes, but if I haven't been able to do that, to reach at least a fragment of what I wanted in this first part of my life, what is going to happen next? It's not only I feel that I failed, but also I feel that, hey, now it's going to be worse. I mean, why would it be better when I get older? Okay, that's kind of the feelings I can have. And I really think that for a lot of people, it happens at some times because we have a lot of dreams when we are young. Life is for us, we can do whatever we want. Okay, and we have a lot of expectations. The thing is that it's most of I think that most of the vast majority of the time it never happens the way we thought, if only because just life is not what we imagine. It's just another thing. Doesn't mean that's bad. It just means that we have imagined things that were wrong. Okay, we have to realize what life is truly. And so what I want to say about it is that I don't think midlife crisis or things like that, when you realize that, hey, I'm not where I want to be, and what next now? I'm a little desperate. Okay, it's not a bad thing, but we have to reconsider what happens and realize that, as I said, we are just realizing that life was not what we thought it was. Okay, so what happened? It happened that I put some values on many things in my life, or different things. Okay, I put high values on. Okay, I was doing judo at some time. It had a high importance in my life. I was investing myself in aviation the last years. I put a high value on this activity too, and many things. Okay, on relations, on a girlfriend, on many things, and all those high values. What I realized that, okay, I could have done better things if I were less limited, because I know that the only limitation I have is just within me. It's just, so I have to work on it in a way and overcome those limitations. And I know I can do a lot of things, and I'm fully in charge of that. So, okay, I could have done better things in every area of my life. And maybe the point is always to continue to overcome my limitations. And I'm sure that is the case in a way, and to continue to grow, okay, in my life. But I also realized that all those values will never bring me whatever I want. It can be better, it can be okay, great to some point, but it's not going to give me what I was expecting from life. That's what is important. And little by little, in a way, my dreams tend to fall. But it's and that's the point, I think, where we have to be lucid, to look at things the way they really are, and not to succumb and to to be desperate, because the conclusion is much better than that, actually. Look at that. So what I realized that it's that I put values on things that were not worthy of that much value in my life. that is good. I must invest myself in things, overcome my limits, but that's not where I'm going to have the great life I want. The value in the end, I realize, is not there, not there, not there. Okay, that's a little, frustrating. However, it's the truth. This is what is life. I had a misconception about life. I just realized what this misconception is, and that's very good, because you cannot have the dream life you want if you continue to put value where it's not. So it's very good with experience, with years, okay, with frustrations, some obviously in a way, but to realize at some point that, okay, the value is not there. I'm not going to achieve what I want in life this way or this way or this way. Because as long as I believe that, I cannot succeed. So that's exactly at this for this that I say that midlife crisis or things like that are good. It's just now I know, and that's excellent. That's the first point where I can really change things. I know that I made mistakes. I know that all that was just a misconception of life. Now I'm much more able to reach anything in my life. Okay, so that's very important. Now I must realize that two things, I would say. The first is that all the value I found in my life, all the great moments, were certainly each time I've been able to overcome my limitations, and I was feeling good, great, able to reach anything. But all that comes from within me. All that is not depending on what is external. That's always which is important. So I think the first thing is to replace the real value in our life. And today I say the value is not on external things, it's within me. From this place, everything can be created in my life. There's a lot of potentiality, and I'll come back to that later, but you can develop and grow any kind of potentiality in your life if you put the value where it is, and that comes from there. That's the first point. Now the second point I wanted to say is don't remember, sorry, but anyway, from that place you can really change things. So the second thing maybe is just don't get frustrated, don't give up, and realize that, yes, that's what I wanted to say, is all that seems to be overwhelming are emotions based on stories that are just the past things. And as I already said, today, right now, this very second, you are new, you are fresh, you can decide whatever you want and act the way you want, with the personality you want to have today. So just make the difference between what are emotions, feelings, just things that you feel in your body, but it's based on stories, and it's not, there's nothing real about it, just feelings. And you can let that down and choose rationally what you want and focus on that, and you have free power. You're completely in charge in your life, and you can do exactly what you want, no matter what your feelings are at this moment. It's a matter of choice and of putting your energy where you want. Okay, so obviously at some point we feel frustrating, and that's a little insidious, because little by little, suddenly your life becomes a little bit darker, gloomer, and you realize that it doesn't work. I'm becoming more and more desperate. But the thing is, just look at things. You made the difference between right and wrong. You can replace the real value, and now explore that. Take the chance, do that. Okay, that's up to you, and I think that's a big step from there. And we just start really our life at this point. I'll talk to you soon.